Smart, smart, do. We are the children, the children of God. Come, come, come. We change our world. We have what it takes to do it smart and make it smart. Welcome to our Smart Do.
Hello, class 5 pupils. How are you? Welcome to another interesting lesson on deficiency diseases. We have been looking at food and nutrition. We looked at the various food and nutrients which are required in the body. So, sometimes you realize that you are eating a meal whereby one of these nutrients is lacking. So, from the word, when I take you back to the word to the letter 8, we say that letter D stands for the word deficiency. And what is the meaning of the word deficiency? In 8, deficiency means very good, means lack of. So, deficiency in the initials 8 means lack of. The same will apply here. Nutritional deficiency diseases, these are diseases which are caused by lack of a certain nutrient in the body. Lack of a certain nutrient in the diet. When you are having a meal and, for example, you don't have one of those nutrients, we say the food nutrients are 5. We say we have carbohydrates, we have proteins, we have vitamins, we have fats and oils, and we also have mineral salts. So, when one of those nutrients is lacking in the body, you are going to have a disease. That is a nutritional deficiency diseases. We are going to look at 4 nutritional deficiency diseases. One is kwashiorkor. We have marasmus. We have anemia and rickets. Those are the main nutritional deficiency diseases. We have kwashiorkor, marasmus, anemia, and rickets. These are the main nutritional deficiency diseases that we have, and we are going to look at each one of them to look at what causes that deficiency disease, the causes. We look at the signs. How can you tell that somebody is suffering from one of that diseases? Then we are going to look at how can we prevent that nutritional deficiency disease. Let us start with kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor is a deficiency disease. Kwashiorkor is a deficiency disease which is caused by lack of proteins. What are proteins? We say that proteins are bodybuilding foods. So you can be having a meal that lacks proteins. You know the examples of proteins. We are not going to mention them now. So, kwashiorkor is caused by lack of proteins. And kwashiorkor, one thing about kwashiorkor, it attacks children under the age of 5. It attacks children under the age of 5 years. These are children who have just stopped breastfeeding. So, once, because a child cannot breastfeed forever, for example, I know most of you do not breastfeed, not drink milk from their mothers. You've already stopped breastfeeding. So, those children who have just stopped breastfeeding, because they are moving from depending on breast milk to other supplementary foods. So, this disease is common in those children. And what are some of the signs and symptoms of kwashiorkor? Kwashiorkor, 1, it have brown hair. The child will develop brown, thin hair. The child will develop brown, thin hair. The child will also have some swollen parts of the body, like the face. Your face will start swelling. The belly, we say they have a pot belly. The child will have a protruding stomach. The child will have a protruding stomach. Don't say that the child is growing fat. You start bragging that your child is growing fat because he's having a protruding stomach. That is a sign of kwashiorkor. It means that that child lacks protein. The child will also have sores at the corners of the mouth. At the corners of the mouth, the child will develop some sores at the corners of the mouth. The child will also grow very weak. The child will grow very weak. The child will also have pale skin color. Pale skin color. Like the child will be like is having some yellowish sort of color. The child, we say that once this disease stays for long or prolongs, it will affect the liver. It will affect the liver. We say that liver is part of it helps in production of some digestive juices. Which digestive juice is produced in the liver? Bile juice, understood in there? Yes. So it will affect the liver, and once it affects the liver, the child can die at long last. So those are some of the signs and symptoms of kwashiorkor: brown thin hair, swollen body parts, pot belly, sores at the corners of the mouth. The child will feel very weak and will have a pale skin color, and it will affect the liver, and later the child will die. How can you help to prevent this disease? How can you help to prevent kwashiorkor? We can prevent kwashiorkor by having a balanced diet. Kwashiorkor is prevented by having a balanced diet. So if you have one of your siblings is developing this, or you see a child with some of these same signs and symptoms, just advise the mother to feed that child on a balanced diet with plenty of proteins. So that's about kwashiorkor. Let us very briefly look at marasmus. Let us very fast look at marasmus. Marasmus is another deficiency disease. Marasmus is another deficiency disease. Marasmus is caused by starvation. What is starvation? Starvation is whereby you don't feed on enough food. You don't eat enough food. Starvation is a situation whereby you are not provided with, or you are not eating enough food. For example, when people are sick, they just say, you just take 2 spoons of rice and you sleep. In the morning, you just take a half cup of tea with a half slice of bread, and you just feel okay. At lunchtime, you will not have anything. You just feel that you don't feel like eating. It's the same tonight. At night, you just have very small, just a handful of githeri. You eat githeri and you just sleep. This is what we call starvation. At long last, you just feel very weak. So, marasmus is caused by lack of enough food. What are some of the signs of marasmus? Marasmus, one, there is severe weight loss. Maybe your weight maybe was like 24 kilograms, and after 1 week, after going to the weight scale, you find that you are 12 kilograms. Within 1 week, you go all the way from 24 kilograms to 12 kilograms. That is a sign of marasmus. It means you are not having enough food. This is very dangerous. Another sign of marasmus is the child will develop a wrinkled face. You'll begin having wrinkles on the face. You look like an old person. The face will look like the face of an old person. Your face will start having wrinkles. You just have wrinkles everywhere. That person can look at you and imagine that it is like your grandmother or your grandfather, because your face is wrinkled. Another sign of marasmus is the child feels very hungry. And because the child is very hungry, he cries a lot. The child is always crying. The child cries a lot because the child is hungry. The child will also have something called muscle disappearance. The muscles will disappear. And the bones will be very visible bones. Once you look at you just see the bones are just everywhere. The bones are just displaying them. They will be visible from the skin. Not that you will be seeing the bones when they are white in color, but from the skin, it will just be like this. The bones will just be very visible. And then the child will have very weak bones. So those are signs of marasmus. And how can we prevent marasmus? Marasmus is, remember, prevention will always come from the cause. So marasmus is caused by lack of enough food. So just eat enough food. Eating enough food will help to prevent marasmus. And now the last, let us very fast look at anemia. We are just going to look at this very briefly. It doesn't have many stories like the others. Anemia is caused by lack of iron. Anemia is caused by lack of iron. Iron is a mineral. So, anemia, signs and symptoms. Anemia, we say anemia attacks mainly women or girls who are in adolescent stage because they lose a lot of blood during the monthly period. So, anemia, signs and symptoms of anemia is that you develop a pale skin. You have dizziness. You just be feeling dizzy, very dizzy. And another sign of a symptom is that you feel weak. You feel very weak because you lack iron. Iron is a very important iron is a very important mineral in the body. So another sign of anemia is that you lack breath. You say you run short of breath. You have difficulties in breathing. You develop difficulties in breathing. Then you will also have white fingernails. You will have white fingernails. Your fingernails will be extremely white like this. So those are some of the signs and symptoms of anemia. Anemia is prevented by eating foods rich in iron. You eat foods rich in iron, and these are red meat. You also eat a lot of fish, and you are also advised to eat vegetables. And the last deficiency disease you just go to look at the notes. The notes you'll just see the signs and symptoms of rickets. Rickets is whereby a child develops bow legs. We say you have bow legs or knock knees. Your legs are just like this. Look for the explanations in the notes and look for the signs, symptoms, and the causes and the preventive measures of rickets. Thank you.